Yujiro Hanma and Ryomen Sukuna. These two beasts are considered to be the most feared, black force energy radiating, 5 bazillion plus aura antagonistic Rizzlers in their bursts, which is why debates and videos are spread out about who would be the winner to see which one of these forces are the baddest and sexier of these two. Also, just mentioning that there will be a lot of spoilers in this video, but who cares, just continue watching the video. We are inside your walls. Now, I'm gonna go over Sukuna scaling first, as I've already done JJK scaling before, and I'll also be covering 20 fingers Sukuna with no Maharaga and in Megumi's body. With that said, Sukuna is an incredibly powerful being, possessing loads of abilities such as Fuga, Reverse Curse Technique, 10 Shadows, Cleave, Dismantle, World Clotting Slash, Black Flash, and last but definitely not least, his domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine. And there could even be much more, as he lived in the Heian era and seemingly pulled out these abilities while fighting Gojo. Definitely not some intense riding from Gege, oh no sir. Anyways, Fuga lets him create a bow and arrow made from fire, and if shot, he can burn and damage a huge area. This ability being so powerful that it even overpowered Jogo, whose whole shtick is lava and heat. In fact, even Jogo was also quite powerful in his right, being able to spawn a massive meteor which is able to destroy multiple city blocks. Overall, the feat makes it out to be small city to city level. Reverse Curse Technique allows Sukuna to regenerate any limbs or any body parts that he's lost in battle. He can also heal others if he wants, but there isn't going to be anyone else except him and Yujiro here, so yeah. 10 Shadows lets Sukuna spawn some animals, which would allow him to be extremely versatile in the fight, but that's really it for 10 Shadows. They're Megumis, so they won't scale that high anyways. Cleave is a slashing attack that adjusts itself to slice his opponents with ease. However, he can only do this if he touches someone. This rule doesn't apply though if he's in his domain expansion. It's also the same as Dismantle, but Dismantle is like a more destructive and higher ranged version. Wall Cutting Slash is an upgrade to Dismantle, being so powerful that it can negate durability in space and defy abilities as powerful as Gojo's Infinity. This is basically like a one-shot ability if used correctly. Black Flash, as we all know, just multiplies his stats to the power of 2.5, or you can just say he gets a 6.25 times amp. And Malevolent Shrine, his domain expansion. Everything and everyone within a 200 meter radius. Why do I keep saying meteor? Within a 200 meter radius is slashed with either Dismantle or Cleave non-stop. Malevolent Shrine has a unique trait. It doesn't create a separate space using a barrier and is instead manifested into the surrounding airspace. Now, with his abilities out of the way, it's time to discuss his AP and speed. At his lowest, he should scale to Megumi's 10 Shadows, which is multi-city block level, as 10 Shadows could harm Hanami, who could throw hands with Season 1 Yuji. But if you want to make a better low ball for him, in the anime, when Sukuna was fighting Maharaga, he used Cleave or Dismantle to cut up a large portion of clouds, which I got to small city level. I also calced Gojo creating an earthquake to small city level, and you may be asking why small city and not island level like others have calced. Well, while the island level calc is not wrong, it assumes that Gojo pushed tectonic plates even when he had no reason to. It's better to assume the earthquake was generated by radio waves, so yeah, it's very easy to get Sukuna into the small city level ranges of power. However, I'll admit I was wrong with my top tiers on a mid-ball being city level in my Deku vs JJK video. They're actually about mountain level, and heck, with Black Flash, his AP can reach 1.87 gigatons of TNT, or large mountain level. Why have I changed my thoughts on his AP though? Well, before I used to think Gojo pulverized matter with hollow purple, but with how the story describes it, I personally think it's best to think that he atomized it instead now, which got about 300 megatons of TNT in Shinjuku. Speed is also much higher, like high hypersonic seems like a low ball to me now, as in the same calc of Sukuna cutting up Calcs, I also got him to massively hypersonic, or about Mach 145. He also upscales Hakari, who was able to dodge lightning, which was calced at Mach 2600 or 4700. Basically MHS plus. Now, his EM waves feat. Yeah, still don't believe it. I understand that Sukuna was tired, so it should even be considered as something he can do with ease. But other than the whole electromagnetic waves feat, he hasn't got a whole lot going for him. And it's shown and said in the JJK universe that the Mach areas of speed are more common than light areas of speed. Like, I don't think this is an outlier for how much higher this is when compared to other speed feats. Honestly, I only consider feat an outlier if the story seems to imply that the feat itself should be comprehended in a way that doesn't support this feat. Like, a good example of this is Star Platinum punching Dio so hard that he cancels time stop. Like, it clearly shows that time resumes after he punches Dio, which is also after time stop is activated. Yes, this can be sort of debunked by the fact that Araki likely wanted to show that Jotaro's willpower is enough to cause feats as powerful as cancelling out a time warping ability, which honestly does make sense considering the fact that Joestars have fate manipulation. We can, however, get Sukuna to higher ends, so let's go with the obvious highball first, his speed. Him dodging EM waves, even if they are relativistic plus on Earth, is most definitely FTL. Now, for his higher AP ends, we got a couple calcs. One being the calc of Gojo pushing the tectonic plates to cause the earthquake. While I don't think he moved them, it's not entirely possible he didn't. So, getting him to island level plus or 56 gigatons is an okay place to stop. However, another calc suggests that he can even be country level. The US Senator dude says that Gojo can power up an entire country for a year. A friend of mine took this literally and decided to calc the amount of energy for this and came back with at least 7 teratons and at most 20.2 teratons. So overall, we can get Sukuna to mountain level and massively hypersonic plus. And if we highball, he can even reach country level in FTL. Still a Deku victim considering that I now think Deku is moon level and MFTL plus, but I digress. Now onto Yujiro Hanma. He's definitely the more experienced one in skill and combat. It is Yujiro after all, the guy who's adopted every martial art and fighting technique on Earth. Yujiro, however, doesn't scale up to Sukuna very well in terms of abilities, or more so the quantity of abilities he has. He's basically just a hyper-amped human. He's immune to all diseases and poison, and has extremely good senses, being able to sense Baki's fighting spirit from 8,000 miles away. His aura can literally also make anyone go insane. Like, this is what his aura does to the soldiers shown on screen, and he also has really good adaptation / mimicry. An example of this is him being able to copy Kaku's technique, Xiao Li, after seeing just once, which will come extremely useful depending on whether or not Sukuna is a human or a cursed spirit. I'll get back to that later though. In terms of AP, seeing as he is the god of the Bakiverse, I'm assuming he upscales his dad, Yuichiro, who was calced to endure large town levels of power when he was being bombarded by an army on an island. Yujiro has also made a deal with America to stop firing rockets at him, although while doing so, making them also shit their panties in the process. Not only that, it's stated in verse that a nuke wouldn't be able to kill him 3 times, implying that he should be able to withstand the Tar Bomber, which had an energy yield of 50 megatons. It could have even been 101.5 megatons, but that amount of energy was never used as it was just too dangerous for the world. Now, 6 decades ahead of the time when the Tar Bomber was made, I wouldn't even be surprised if governments across the globe are able to make nukes hundreds of times stronger than the Tsar bomber. So yeah, Yujiro should at least, in my opinion, be mountain level, with a high chance of even being island level. He was also able to stop an earthquake with a single punch. Now, depending on the magnitude of the earthquake and which calc you use, you can determine that this feat can be anywhere from town to island level. One last AP feat, which was not Yujiro's doing, but Pickle's. Pickle was able to survive the Cretaceous meteors' impact from Colorado, which I calc as small city level. Baki is able to hit him, and since Yujiro is seen to be much stronger than Baki, if not at least as strong as Baki, this should scale to him. Now, how many times stronger does Demon Back make him? I don't know. There's no real answer. However, people on Reddit say he's about 3 to 5 times stronger and faster, so I'll just roll with that, knowing that this is still like purely headcanon. He should also casually upscale Kaku, who says he can go at 1,000 miles a minute, which is Mach 78. He can also dodge lightning like Hakari, which was calculated to Mach 3,200 to 4,200. So, generally speaking, Yujiro casually has speed feats that put him at MHS+. However, his speed can get even higher with a calc that got Baki at 2.6 times the speed of light, and a statement of Musashi saying that he's as fast as light, which are feats and statements which Yujiro, again, should upscale due to being the most superior in the verse. Just know that this would only scale to his reaction speed and not his combat or travel speed. So you can very easily get him to the mountain level ranges of AP and give a good argument on him being even island level. But we'll just stick to mountain level for today. Speed wise, he's similar to Sukuna in the MHS plus area of speed, but then we have to also remember he has FTL reaction speed too, so he shouldn't worry in the speed department too much. So now that we've discussed both of their abilities and stats, who wins? Sukuna is slightly greater in strength, durability, and abilities, while Yujiro is more versed in speed, skill, and experience. Realistically, Sukuna can just hurt Yujiro pretty easily, even if Yujiro does activate Demon Back. Sure, it'll take like 2 or 3 good hits to bring Yujiro down, but that's still like 2 or 3 hits, and the fact that he can just use Cleave or Dismantle to negate durability just makes it much easier for him. However, it would also depend on if Sukuna is a cursed spirit or not. I did say I would talk about this later. But why? Well, if he is, we'd have to use verse equalization so Yujiro can at least touch him. This would then allow Yujiro to mimic his abilities, become stronger, and shortly after, diddle that pretty boy. This is possible because the concept of cursed energy can only be seen if you are dealing with batshit emotions all the time. This is how cursed energy is created, which Yujiro isn't dealing with. But I highly doubt Sukuna is still a human, and if he was, heck, because of Yujiro's insane senses, he might be able to not see but sense the aura of cursed energy and therefore be able to adapt to his abilities. Not only that, Yujiro was just gonna easily be able to see anything that Sukuna throws at him. Like, the speed is just massively different between the two. To be exact on how much faster he is, Yujiro would be able to react 491 times faster than Sukuna can throw hands. But even if Yujiro is that fast, Sukuna has still got reverse curse technique. What happens then? Well, if Yujiro does land loads of blows and manages to put him down, but then sees Sukuna miraculously restore himself, Yujiro would probably understand that he needs to aim for his head, as the head in normal circumstances isn't able to be regenerated. Like, our tissues or skin, even fingertips, are able to be regenerated, but like, come on, it's our head. And, well, shit, if he doesn't understand that, he'd probably understand how to put him down for good sooner or later anyways, due to just how smart he is battle-wise and just in general. I also forgot to mention the whip technique, which Versus Wiki actually has as Journeg, which is pretty insane. Although I'm pretty sure Yujiro said it's a technique that women? Ugh! Those disgusting creatures who can't even shit or piss only use this technique. I think that's what he said. One saving grace here for Sukuna is Malevolent Shrine though. Remember, Cleave and Dismantle can adjust itself so it's potent enough to hurt you, and does it in a very destructive way within a 200-meter radius. Yujiro doesn't have an answer for that, but considering that Sukuna only uses it against opponents who he sees are actually really strong, or just to cause someone never-ending PTSD, or in other words for shits and giggles, I don't see him using it straight away. And the other advantages Yujiro has as well, being his much superior speed and big brain, I honestly see the most glazed antagonist of history besting the most glazed antagonist of today on the mid-diff. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, don't like or subscribe cause Goku is high solo Verso plus. But if you do have any ideas, comment down below and I'll shit something out of CapCut, and yeah, have a good day fellas.
Fuck Horikoshi. Why did he ship me with your Raka when I obviously wanted Bakugo to edge on me like Diddy?